Okay, folks, welcome back to Flat Irons Tuning. Have to sit down, have to talk to you again because over the weekend I watched the new episode of Launch Control, season 13, episode 9, and just like we've had our head in all this information and stuff coming out of the Tokyo Auto Salon, and I watched this, and all of a sudden, a whole bunch of things just like clicked off in my brain. I think Subaru has dropped a ton of Easter eggs in this episode, and they may have confirmed like the biggest speculation or inference that we read coming out of Tokyo Auto Salon. And we're going to dive into all of that. What I've done is I've put some clips together. I've got them up here on my laptop. We're going to talk through them. I'll put them up on the screen. If you have not watched our episode about the BRZ, the twin turbo engine in the BRZ, definitely go back and check that out. Come back and watch this because there's a lot more here to discuss, and I think that the information is really favorable. Before we dive into all of that, just want to say, if you're watching this on mobile and you see the hype button, if you could hype this video, that's going to do a ton to help this video get out there and help more people see it. We really appreciate that. Like and subscribe, all that good stuff. Brilliant. All right, with that said, let's get into it. So like the first clip here just is from the very end, just to give you a teaser of what we're going to be in for here, but listen to this.
The viewer's going to have to do that math because I can't talk about what's down the pipe. Increased collaboration with Japan, new upcoming cars. You'll see us at Goodwood. We definitely want to do something at Mount Washington.
Okay, so big news, lots of stuff here, and all right, let's get into the first clip here.
Which leaves an empty open class seat, or does it?
We're not going to run an open class car in 2026.
From the outside looking in, fans might start to worry. It might look like Subaru is pulling back, but look deeper.
Okay, so the first big news, and we've seen this a few weeks ago, is that Brendan Semenuk is not going to be driving for Subaru next year. But the kind of the bombshell that we hear here in this clip is that they're actually not going to run an open class car at all. Now, the limited four-wheel drive car that Pastrana kind of spearheaded the development with and drove this year, they're going to run that again in 2026, but that's it. There's not going to be an open class car from Subaru or Vermont Sports Car, which is pretty wild. So it could be a completely different battle. Well, no, it will be a completely different battle in the open class because Subaru's not going to be a part of it. And on the surface, I think it would be pretty easy to say that this is a big negative. But I think the way that they're going about it, it could very well be a positive because they're focusing on the cars that are close to what we can go out there and buy. The WRX that is currently there. And if the STA does come back, I'm sure that that's going to be part of it. And then what they talk about is the fact that, well, because they're not running an open class car, that opens up a whole ton of bandwidth for the shop because they're not running the car. All right, let's go to the next clip.
Remember when Subaru of America's chairman and CEO appeared at Wicked Big Meet? It might have seemed like a small gesture.
Boss man's gonna show me how it's done now.
But it wasn't.
Outrageous! It's so good!
His history and passion for rally runs deep. He recognizes what this program has done for the brand. It coincides with a clear directive from the top. Performance will remain a key element of Subaru's identity.
This is amazing!
Leadership need to create passion to, gathering the people.
I'm sorry, I might scream a little. I'm a bad passenger. I'll do my best.
So that's why I try to create more passion with my driving. So that's going to be my happiness.
There is new emphasis on performance for the Subaru brand. There is new emphasis back on developing a new ICE engine.
Okay, two huge pieces of information in this clip. All right, so the person that you're seeing from Subaru there, that is the CEO of Subaru of America, Yoichi Hori, and he's a former rally driver. Like, he is like into motorsports, into rally, into Subaru. He's out there driving, some of these rally cars with, Scott Speed, Travis Pastrana. Super engaged. I mean, that's awesome in and of itself. But what they're saying here is that performance, they're refocusing on performance as a key pillar of the Subaru brand. And what you saw there at the end, Lance Smith from Vermont Sports Car, they're developing a new ICE engine. A new ICE engine. Let's hear that again.
There is new emphasis on performance for the Subaru brand. There is new emphasis back on developing a new ICE engine.
What is massive about this is it's a new internal combustion engine. A new ICE engine. What is massive about this is it's a new internal combustion engine. What is massive about this is it's a new internal combustion engine. What is massive about this is it's a new internal combustion engine. What is massive about this is it's a new internal combustion engine. What is massive about this is it's a new internal combustion engine. What is massive about this is it's a new internal combustion engine. worst case scenario, what could this possibly mean? And I'd say worst case. I would say that this is a new version of the FA24 DIT that is going in the STI. Now, why I say that's the worst case scenario is because then that would be a new engine, because we haven't seen an FA24 in an STI trim before. And so I would say you could call that a new engine. But if you think back, we've seen the FA24 since 2022, and it was actually in the Ascent and I think the Outback even prior to that. It is not a new engine. It's been around for probably 6 years. It's not new. Tweaking that engine, I would say, is not new. What is new? What have we seen that is new? The 6-cylinder engine in the BRZ, the twin-turbo 6-cylinder engine that we're seeing in the BRZ GT300. That is a new engine. We had not seen that, but it's been in development for over 4 years. But we just saw that. There was rumors about it a couple of months ago. We just saw it, a few weeks ago. That to me is a new engine. This is, we had a lot of people that are thinking like, well, there's no way that they're ever going to put that new 6-cylinder, much less a twin-turbo 6-cylinder, in a production car. Lance Smith just said that they're focusing on developing a new internal combustion engine. The best case scenario is that means that all of Subaru is now focused on developing this new engine between everything that's going on in Japan and now Vermont Sports Car here in the States. And I would say another positive is that if you're going to develop a new chassis, say a new STI, because there's going to be so much development that's going to go into then turning that into a rally car, a race car, what have you, develop that new chassis, develop that new engine, which could be something else even, and then come out with that for next year to run. I mean, there's a lot of reasons where if you're making that big of a change, it would make sense to take this kind of a break from an open class season and then come back in 2027. But again, the biggest news here is reiterating the focus on performance, and I mean, it confirms they're developing a new engine. Is that a new STI engine, a new version of this 4-cylinder engine? Is it a version of this 6-cylinder engine that we're seeing in the BRZ GT300? We'll have to wait and see, but I think in any one of those cases, it's all good. This is all a huge, huge positive for us, for Subaru, for enthusiasts. Yeah, this is the major news from this. But wait, there's a little bit more, so let's get back into it.
They mentioned on a global stage the passion for the brand in the United States. Speechless. I mean, we got there.
Followed by the Performance B STI concept, more proof of Subaru's commitment to thrill drivers.
For Subaru, there's a huge performance component there, and it's great to see that that's not being let down.
They're going to spread the passion out from the United States to the rest of the world.
This is a big deal. This is a really big deal because, so what they're saying is that, again, performance is going to be a focus, and they're now basically focusing on the United States, and then they're going to build the brand, the performance brand there, and then out from the United States to the rest of the world. This is what we were saying, what we were thinking about the significance of the fact that the US market got the WRX TS first, and then Japan got it just a couple of weeks ago. Where this is huge is it tells me that Subaru is finally realizing that the performance side of their business is one of the key things that they were missing. If you think about the Subaru customer and how they can get attached to the other models, the best sellers, the Crosstrek, Forester, the Outback. Once Subaru would win these people over, I mean, there's multiple people that have had multiple Foresters, multiple Outbacks. But you think about performance, and as many years as I've been doing this, I've seen many customers where Subaru is kind of like the entry point for many people. Lots of people love WRXs, STIs, BRZs. They get into them, they get into motorsports, they get into driving, they get into modifying cars, and then Subaru loses them. Most notably here, I mean, I've seen so many people go from Subaru and STIs and whatnot into BMW, Porsche, certainly. But if Subaru is thinking along this route where, like, hey, once we get people excited about cars, get people excited about Subarus, get people excited about motorsports, we need to keep them in the brand as long as possible. And that means offering higher tiers of performance than what they've done before. That's going to build the strength in the performance side of the brand, just like they built with, the Outbacks, the Foresters, with kind of the daily driving kind of things. Huge, huge potential here. And I think if Subaru is really realizing it and they're really starting to think in this direction, long term, this could be an absolutely massive step for the brand. Let's hope so. I mean, I think there, again, I still think it's a bit of a long shot that this twin-turbo BRZ engine ends up in production. But man, it seems way more likely today than it did even last week when we were putting out that last video. Just because, very clearly, they're developing a new internal combustion engine. New. New to me means new, not a revision of something that's already out there. Let's get back into the clips here. I think this is the last one.
I think with having a parked open car, we can take opportunities to do all kinds of cool little projects.
A season's worth of open-class effort deployed elsewhere invites imagination. Some ideas are obvious.
Broadly speaking, you can say there's going to be increased collaboration with Japan. New upcoming cars, you'll see us at Goodwood. We definitely want to do something at Mount Washington.
Others still just a spark, waiting to ignite.
The viewer's going to have to do that math because I can't talk about what's down the pipe.
Yeah, the biggest key here is they have a plan. There's a lot of different things that they're working on, a lot of different cars, but the increased collaboration with Japan, that is also, I think, very huge. So we're seeing from the side of Japan that they're much more aware of how significant the enthusiast market is in the United States. They're going to really try and foster and cater to that enthusiast market. And now there's going to be a lot more working back and forth between the U.S., Vermont Sports Car, and Japan. And I hate to beat the drum again, but if the new engine is the BRZ GT300 engine, that this all tracks. It all falls into place. And so they have these things that are planned. The big one here is Mount Washington. So they mentioned that they're going to do something in Mount Washington. What could that be? I don't know. Travis Pastrana has set 2 different records there. I don't know that there's a whole lot more records for them to set at Mount Washington. I could be entirely wrong. Could it be because this car, it really does seem, especially with the Super Taiku car, like they've got some of these chassis rolling around ready to go. They're going to be racing it in 2 months from right now as I'm recording this. Will we actually see maybe a Performance B or the new STI that's running up Mount Washington this year? Is that where we're going to actually see it? And if we see it not only just in a showroom or something like that, but could it actually be competing in a race, actually moving in anger up a mountain? That would be a pretty darn good way to debut a car. Total speculation on my part. I really hope so, and I might now have to move everything that I can move so that I can maybe go out to Mount Washington and just kind of see what's there, see what they do. And basically they're telling us at the very end, we as the enthusiasts, we've got to do the math. We've got to put all the pieces together. And I think with everything that we looked at before, seeing what they're doing, the significance of the timeline of when they started working on, the various different engine projects, both here with Vermont Sports Car and the rally cars, and in Japan with the GT300 car, and all of the things that now that Subaru and Vermont Sports Car have said in this launch control video, you put all of this together, and it means that Subaru is probably working towards a really big change in the future. And I think that there's a big reason to be excited. I think there's no way that we as enthusiasts do not come out as a win with this. So that's, fingers crossed, that's what I'm hoping for. This is some big news. Go back, watch our video about the GT300 engine, the timeline there. Watch this launch control video. This is like the last, let's call it 8 or 9 minutes of that, where they go through all of this and just listen to the context. Man, there's just more information, more confirmation coming in that I think something big is in the works. So, and to you at home, thanks very much for your support as always. Thanks for your support at flatrangstuning.com. That is the best way to ensure that we can keep coming back and making these videos for you. And until next time, as always, stay tuned with Flat Irons Tuning.